special day, keeping you more day in a special way. YAHHWH lost in our enemy's land to revolt the curse. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Forward to the gathering of the saints of Yah, to the new Jerusalem. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. For 1,000 years in that great old kingdom of Yah, for the whole world to see. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shemaya Israel. YAHHWH is one. Let's celebrate him now, for the battle is already won. Oh yes it is. Whoa, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom. Who brought you out of the land of bondage? I am Yah who brought you out of the land of bondage. I am Yah who brought you out of the land of bondage. I am Yah who brought you out of the land of bondage. were gone forth out of the land of Mizraim. The same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Yasharel camped before the mountain. And Shemaiah went up unto Elohim, and Yah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Yasharel, You have seen what I did unto the Mizraimites, and how I bore you with eagle's wings, and brought you into myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me, above all people, for all the earth is mine. You shall be unto me a kingdom of priests, and a Kodesh nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Yasharel.
Yah promised he would give us a kingdom. We disobeyed and fell into a syndrome.
We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah.
Yah said in the lands of our captivity, when we return, he will give us liberty. Return back to our land of nativity, kingdom of priests for the whole wide world to see. Oh yeah. Here we go now. Here we go now.
We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah.
Yeah. 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 Oh yeah.
We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah.
We will reign for 1,000 years with him. Kings and priests having God's law with him. We were paid for the trials and tribulations. That's when the world would pay us off for reparations.
Reparations. All right, Shabbat Shalom, brothers and sisters. Pray you all had a good week. I had a little technical issue. I was trying to get my chat to come up. Let's see. I can't get my chat to come up so I can. Oh, let me see. Hold on a second here. I might have to do it this way. I might have to do it this way. All right. Let's see if I can. Let me see. Let's see if I go back here. And I go in here. Where is my chat? I don't know. This. Hold on a second. Something's not right here. Okay, I'll do it this way. I don't know what happened here, but I'm using Firefox instead of using Microsoft Edge, but it must be the way it's configured. It's hiding my chat. But anyway, just want to second. See where we now I can't see comments on here. I'm looking at my phone here. Okay. Where's my comments at? I guess they don't want me to see the comments today. That's some weird stuff. Now the phone comments just disappeared from the phone. Let me see. Chat. Where's my live chat at? How come I can't see my? I tell you what I'm gonna do. Let's see. I don't like this. Let's do it this way. I'm gonna close out of this window. Try to see if it allows me to. Okay. Maybe I had too many windows open. I don't know. Maybe I had too many windows open. Let's see. Let's see if this works. It's asking about a compatible browser. I think that's what it is. Okay. We're going to come out of that. Let's see. Let's just use my regular browser. I got my footnotes here, so I can't look at that. Let's see if I can do. Just bear me a second here, brothers and sisters. I don't know why these browsers are not compatible. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. It's not letting me see the chat. Okay, I got it on this one here. Okay, enable. All right, so now I'm going to have to. Please pardon me. Okay. All right, so please pardon me if I miss your greeting. I don't know why it's just disappeared. You can see on my phone it just disappeared. My chat disappeared. So whatever you said, anyone said prior to me reloading this, can't see your comment. Okay, so prior to Elias Stone is the last one that I see is chat. So I'll just start there. Everybody that said Shabbat Shalom, that greeted before Elias Stone, please pardon me for not being able to see who it was. So I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody that previously said Shabbat Shalom, everybody that greeted, and preferably all having a blessed Shabbat. Had a good week. Elias Stone, I see your comment. So he's the last one on the comments that I can see. All right. So what I'm going to do is, let's move this over here. put this up. Okay. And so we're going to go ahead and open up in prayer. And I'm not going to be as lengthy today. Preferably we can get in and out. And you all had a busy week. I had a short week. And so yesterday I was running around getting some work done on my truck. So I was consumed all day yesterday. My time was consumed all day yesterday. So we're going to just go ahead and get in here. We have a good topic. This is part 2. Let's open up in prayer. Father, thank and praise for this opportunity to share with your people on the Shabbat. And we praise the Most High for allowing us to gather together at this time, to be filled, to be replenished, to be rejuvenated, to be restored, our body to be refreshed and revived, our minds to be renewed. As we go forward and share what you give us to share on this day, is our desire and a prayer that you will bless the people and edify your people and comfort your people during this time of this dark season that we're in, this whole life season. We do give you praise, give you honor, name YAHHWH Mashiach. We say hallelujah, 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 amen. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. And this is part 2. So last week, if you did see part 1, I admonish you to go back, and I know our videos are long because generally, if it wasn't a Shabbat, we would do cut clips and it would be like shortened in and out. But because it's the Shabbat, we stream, we don't cut anything out. We just go straight in and give it to you as the Most High gives it to us to share. So last week we proved that the Creator said Yah is his name singular. So the Most High, when you hear people say, oh, God has many names, we know they're not talking about the Most High. We know they're not talking about the Creator of heaven and earth, because he told Moses, Shemaiah, that this is my name singular forever. So we covered that last Shabbat. So if you haven't seen the video, go back and see that. We also took a look at the etymology of both the Germanic words God and Lord. We discovered that God was a Germanic deity. Okay. We also discovered that Lord was another Germanic deity that meant the keeper of the bread. Okay. So we proved that all of those origins, those pagan names, God, Lord, came from the Germanic people. Okay. And as we have gone into the lands of our captivity, we have taken on the languages of the nations. And so the nations have given us their deities. Now let's just kind of open up with Jeremiah 2 and 10, 2 and 11. So Jeremiah 2 and 11, our base scripture. So let's go here. Okay. Have a nation changed their Elohim, which are yet no Elohim, but my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit. Right? So that is what the Most High said. Right? The nations haven't changed their deity. We showed you last week how that when the nations, and we'll kind of cover a little bit as we go forward, was all after the flood. It was one tongue and one speech. And all of the people knew the Most High's name. It wasn't nothing new. Okay? Then they wanted to make a name. Okay, so we covered that. We told you that the first deity, Satan, imposed himself in the image of Nimrod, who became known as the God man. Okay. And now let's read Jeremiah 10 and 2. This is very fitting because we're going into this tree worship season, right? So we go to Jeremiah 10 and 2, and it says, thus says Yah, learn not the ways of the heathens, and be not dismayed at the signs of heavens, for the heavens are dismayed at them. For the custom of the people are vain, for one cut off a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. Now, somebody posted last week in there, this debunked that the tree was a pagan symbol. Okay, I don't care what he says. I'm looking at the biblical text. So the customs is vain. So anything that looks like that, right? You know, if it walk like a duck, if it quack like a duck, if it act like a duck, then it's a duck. So if the image of the tree, if the same practice that the people do by going, now they don't go into the forest to get the tree, because the people that sell a tree are the ones that go into the forest and get it. You can go to the nurseries. You say, I live out here in the country. They grow trees like that. They're the ones that cut it down, right? They sell it. You go to Walmart, your local Walmart. You go to your Target. You go to your local grocery store. Sometimes you go to your hardware store. They got the trees sitting out there. The practice was they went in the forest and cut the tree down. Okay? And they profit. Now, for anybody that want to tell you that that's not a Christmas tree, they're delusional. I don't care how many doctors of divinity they got. If they want to tell you that that's not a Christmas tree, no, matter of fact, let's read it again. Because, see, we got people that think you dumb. They think you stupid. They think you are a dodo brain, right? You think you don't have any reading and comprehension skills. How can you not see that that's a Christmas tree? The practices of Christmas tree came from this passage, right? Let's read it. He says, the customs of the people are vain. For one cut a tree out of the forest, right there, right? So what did they do? They cut the tree out of the forest, right? That is the first stage. Okay, let's go back in. For those that don't agree that it's a Christmas tree and it is a forbidden practice from the Creator. Let's go back in. They cut a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. Okay, now the tree we showed you, we did a lesson on it. We showed you that they worship under every green tree, right? So before the tree was made into a carved image, it was actually a literal tree that they cut from the forest. We just read right here. Let's go back into it. They cut it, the work of the workmen, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver, right? They deck the tree with silver, right? So now I can go and show you some videos of people decorating the Christmas tree with silver. They're going to do that probably this week. I think Trump, generally had a tree lighting. I think it might be this week. I think it's usually after Turkey Day, right? They're going to decorate that tree with silver, right? So it says that they decorate the tree with silver and with gold, right? So remember, in the practice today, they take a tree and they take tinsels or take silver and they throw it on a tree nice and neatly. Some of they wrap it around it real good, silver, wrap it around, and gold. They'll take I forget what you call it because I've been so far removed from that. They take the gold and wrap it around the tree, make it look nice and pretty, right? That's what the book says. They take gold, they decorate it with silver and with gold. If that's not a Christmas tree, then you're delusional. The custom practice of Christmas tree is right there, right? Now, he said, they deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. So what do? They take that Christmas tree, they cut it down, they put it on a tree stand. They put screws in it, nails, so that it won't move. We used to do that when I was a kid. Matter of fact, I used to go in the forest. I was right in the scripture. I would go in the forest and cut an evergreen tree down and bring it into the house. So I know that's a pagan practice. I don't know why I was doing it, but as a kid, you know, my passion was, it was Christmas time. The family wanted a Christmas tree, and sometimes my mama would forget to get it or whatever. My dad was working like me, so my mom wanted a Christmas tree. So what I would do, I'd go in the forest, cut the tree down with an axe. I went into the forest, brother. I'm telling you, I know this is talking about Christmas tree because I did the practice. Went into the forest and chopped the tree down with an axe. And I was little then, but I'll drag that tree, grab it by the bottom of it, and drag it out the forest, bring it to the house, set it up on a stand, put the nails in it so that it don't fall over. At that point, the tree is right there in that spot, in the corner spot. Got the tree stand, got the nails in it, problem so it won't fall. Then at that point, my mama had the silver. We put the silver, I forget, y'all know the name of the stuff. We put the silver around the tree and the gold. And then we had what? We had lights. We would decorate the tree with Christmas lights, Christmas ornaments, put the lights around it, right? And green, yellow, red, white, even had some black bulbs in there. And then to top it off, we had a little star we put on the top of it. We chiseled the top part of it so that it's like a point. And we would take that star and we would slide it on top of there. So some people would put an angel up there. Some people put a Santa Claus up there. We would put a star up there, right? So you would see the star, and then you would see the tree. The star rim frame. We didn't know that, but that's what it was. That's what it is. The star rim frame. That's what it represents, right? Molech, right? And then we put the silver and the gold around the tree, and we would sit there and just look at it and just, isn't that a pretty tree? So much so now that today, they have Christmas tree competitions. People, now they have taken the tree outside from in-house and put it outside on the front lawn. So y'all tell me if that's not a custom that we read here in Jeremiah 10 and 2. Anybody tell me that that's not a Christmas tree, they lying through their teeth. Am I right?
Am I right?
Don't let nobody fool you. If they ain't fool nobody but themselves, if they want to try to tell you that that's not a Christmas tree, you better rip that page out the Bible and explain it away. Watch pastors try to, this time of the season, they go, the Hebrews, here they go with Christmas is pagan, right? It is pagan. We showing you the custom of the tree is pagan, right? That's the beginning of that. The sun worshiping of the sun, right? The birth of the incomparable sun, Sol Invictus, that's what Christmas is. The worship of the sun, the winter solstice, Saturnalia, all that, right? So, listen, you could be in denial. Well, it don't mean that to me. What you got? Your alternative facts. You made a lie. You made a lie. You call it an alternative fact. It don't mean that to me. It means the birthday of Jesus. Where is it at in the Bible that his birthday is December 25th? Well, we know he was born. We don't know when he was born. Why did you pick that day of all days to celebrate the birthday of the Messiah? Why did you pick? Because it was imposed upon you by who? We're going to show you in this lesson who was imposed upon you by. Opposed upon you by your oppressors, the European nations, the Gentiles. And I hit the wrong button. I meant to do the pause. But that's who gave you that. They gave you a Halloween deception. Fell for it. This very day, you're going to go out here and get broke, spend that credit card. You're going to go first. People went out on Black Friday, spend money. You ever wonder why they call it Black Friday? You think about it. Prices drop. Right? Somebody said that they're getting ready to get rid of the penny. They get ready to get rid of the penny. All right. All right. Shabbat shalom. This kind of y'all good to see you. My sister, greet my brother Moray Irvin. I tell him I ain't forgot about it. I haven't been doing too much phone conversation with people here lately. I've been just working like a Hebrew slave. All right. Sons of Yaakov, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Shabbat shalom. All right. So that's the thing. So when you ask a pastor or somebody who still celebrates Christmas, ask them, what does that mean? And watch them dance around and try to give you some type of theological interpretation of something that's literal. Right there. It's a practice. We just graphically showed you how people practice going into a forest. I did it. So I know that this is literal. Right? Okay. So we proved that. Now, so we looked at the etymology of God, God and Lord, and we saw that they were pagan European substitutions. Matter of fact, Lord was, we read last week where the writers, the historians and the scholars said that they replaced the Most High's name with Lord. The keeper of the bread. Okay, so when we say we don't know his name, we know he is the Lord, right? You've been indoctrinated by the European colonizers that gave you their deity. All right, so then we talked about how that the Most High, right? I mentioned, but I didn't give a reference. So I mentioned that the nations knew the name of the Most High. It was Shemaiah, or Moses wasn't the first person to know the name, right? And so we're going to show you real quick. We're going to go into the biblical text, and we're going to show you that the name wasn't just given to Shemaiah. All of creation knew the name. As a matter of fact, the first man, Adam, knew the name because he named the wife YAHHWAH. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to go to Genesis chapter 4, right? And Genesis chapter 4 and verse 26. We're going to start right here. So you all know the story. Adam and Kawah had son Cain and Abel, right? Cain killed Abel, right? And then they had another son, right? So here we go right here. This is chapter 4. Okay. And we're going to go down to verse 25. Start 25. And Adam knew his wife again. And she bore a son and called his name Seth, right? For Elohim said, she have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, okay, whom Cain slew. And unto Seth, right, to him also there was born a son, and his name was called Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of YHWH. So, wait a minute. I had to school a Hebrew Israelite more years ago on this because he believed that nobody knew the name until Shemaiah. I said, no, not so, brother, not so. Adam knew the name of the Most High. That's why he named his wife Kuwa. Right? He knew the Most High's name was YAHWAH. Right? So he named his wife the giver of life. The giver of Wah. Life. Right? Yah means to be life. Wah means to give life. The breath and the giver of breath. That's what the name means. I mean, it's simplicity. It's not complicated. It's not mystical. It's simple. In creation, we breathe, we take in, and we give out. So the memorial of the name, brothers and sisters, is so deep. Every time you breathe and breathe out, you call on the name of the Most High and don't even know it. So even if you're agnostic or atheist, I don't believe there's no creator. See that? You call on the name every time you breathe. How about that?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
You call on the name every time you breathe. You call on that name. But you got to hire somebody to misinform you. You pay tithes and offerings to people to lie to it. Look, I'm already your site posted cash flow dollar talking about the devil is the one trying to keep you to keep the law. Ask cash flow dollar, thou shalt not commit adultery. I bet you he won't let somebody come in and I'm trying to be in community guidelines conversation. He won't let somebody go into his wife. Because if the devil wants you to keep the law and that's the law, then you should just let it be free game. Let somebody, let the whole, whoever want her, let them come and have her because we're not under the law. The devil's trying to get you to keep the law. You want to make somebody mad? Tell them we're not under the law. Tell them, can I have your wife? That'll end the conversation quick. Straight up. People will kill you over their wife. But you say we're not under the law. But if the law says thou shalt not commit adultery, right? Okay. So enough with that. So that's the dumbest statement. But you got thousands of people following you, making multi-millions of dollars from people paying tithes and offerings, and you lying to them through your teeth. That's sad. And I believe it or not, I used to follow him when I was in the Christian arena. But he never taught that. But now he's going on a whole nother page with that. Going on a whole, he's going down the same road that Carlton Pearson went down, right? He said, "Creflawed." Son of Yaakov said, "Creflawed dollar." He's flawed. He's flown into cash. Okay, so that Genesis said that men began to call on the name of Yah. Right now, here's what I want to do. I'm gonna share with you my notes here, and we're gonna do this together. And why I can't? Hold on a second. Something's wrong here. Let's do it here. Okay. All right. See if y'all can click on this thing. This is my Gemini note here. Okay. All right. So let's go to that. And what I want to do is I'm gonna go there with you. Let's see. Hold on a second. Okay. At the top. Let's go up to the top. Okay. So here's what my note says here. So let's go here to my notes. It says, I said the phrase, for in his days, men began to call on the name of Yah. That's it. He says that phrase, for in his days, men began to call upon the name of Yah, is a direct quote from the book of Genesis 4:24 and 26, which we just read. It appears at the end of the genealogy of Adam and Kawah's third son Seth, following the account of Cain and Abel. What does it signify? He says this verse is often interpreted as making of the beginning of public, formal, or organized worship of Elohim among mankind, distinct from the period following the creation of Adam and Kawah. So he asked the question, would you like to explore the context around the verse? I said, what was the name of, quote unquote, the Lord they called on? He says, the name of the Lord that they began to call on, Genesis 4:26, is, he says, YHWH. So even Google Gemini know this true, right? So he said, that's the name. Watch this now. He said, the original, where was that here? I lost my place here. Okay, right. He said the name in Hebrew, right? The Hebrew text uses the four, he says the four divine name, and he got, there it is right there, pronounced roughly as YHWH, or he says Yahweh, right? YHWH, this is unique, personal, and a covenantal name. How about that? Let me read that again, right? He said, this is a unique, personal, and conventional name of Elohim. He said God there. It is often understood to be related to the verb to be, signifying Yah as the self-existing one, the eternal one. I am who I am. Exodus 3:14, which we read last week. He goes on to say, in nearly all English Bible translations, when the original text has YHWH, the translators use the title, the Lord, in capital letters. The significance of the phrase men began to call on YHWH is understood in a few main ways. Public corporate worship, and the marks of the beginning of formal open public worship of the true Elohim, distinguishing the Elohimly line of Seth from the un-Elohimly line of Cain. Well, that's good right there, right? That's good, man. Proclamation, it refers to men proclaiming the name of Yah to others, bearing witness to him. How about that? And a deeper relationship, even through the name YHWH is used earlier in Genesis, starting in chapter 2. This is very significant that people at the time began to acknowledge Yah's sovereignty and call upon him in a new, devoted, and organized way. Boom. Right? So while the name used was YHWH, the act described was the public and devoted worship of the one true Elohim by that name. Oh, man. Whew, man, that's some good stuff right there, boy. How is it that the AI got more revelation than the average pastor? He got more revelation than the name. He basically, he done told you, AI, Google Gemini AI is what it is, told you that the creation knew the name of the Most High, right? That when they put that in there, when the translators translated, they had the Most High name in there. So question we got to ask is, why did the translators take the name out? Right? Because Satan had his hand in removing the name so he could have his worship under different names. Right? Now, what I want to do, I'm going to give you another link here. We're going to go to Jubilees, right? Jubilees has the same account. So let's go to the book of Jubilees, and I'm going to give you this link here. You can follow this link with us. Right? That's right, sons of Yaakov. He said, you remember when Creflo came out right, I remember that when he started teaching it. Yeah, people gonna support that. We had sisters. We went down to Atlanta. That's his territory. We had sisters she was trying to defend. You know, Creflo Dollar. Said, when you follow the masses, right? That's where you head for destruction, right? Broad is the way that lead to destruction. You see numbers of people following. They ain't clear the closing doors. They ain't clear for the closing door for real. Now let's see. Okay. So click that link there. We're going to go to the book of Jubilees. Okay. And we're going to read the verse, excuse me, is chapter 4. We're going to read 11 through 13, right? So we're going to start here. It says that Adam, start verse 10, and Adam knew Kawah, his wife, and she bore him 9 sons. Okay, now that's interesting right there, right? So we're gonna learn something. We're learning something. Did you know that Adam had? It said Adam had what? 9 sons. And King James don't tell you that, but Jubilee tells you that Adam had 9 sons. My dad asked me years ago. He said, "Son," he said, when Cain killed Abel, he was sent away to the east and took a wife." He said, "Who did he marry?" I said, "One of his sisters." He married one of his sisters. The Book of Jubilee breaks it down, right? That's what I like about the Book of Jubilees, right? So let's go back in here. All right. So he said Adam had 9 sons, and in the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee, Seth, right? Hold on a second here. I'm having a little invasion here. Seth took Azorah, right? His sister. Look at that. He took Azorah, his sister. So they were marrying their brothers and sisters. That's what he was married. Wasn't no other. Heard a brother when I was in Cali a few years back said there was multiple creations. And people was buying into that. That's the danger. When you got people that create their own Hebrew language and start interpreting, that's why I say interpreting the biblical texts to fit their narrative. That's the danger, because people create their own doctrines out of that, right? You got to be very careful, right? So here we see that he married his sister. Watch this. In the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee, Seth took Azorah, his sister, to be his wife, and in the 4th year of the 6th week, she bore him Enos. Now I know somebody would say, "Brother, isn't it incest?" What is incest? In creation, that wasn't incest. I mean, today's modern terminology would be classified as incest or whatever. But what, as a matter of fact, what is the definition of incest? Okay, all right. Let's see. What is incest? Okay. Incest is generally defined as sexual activity or marriage between people who are too closely related to one another. Okay. So, who coined that? I mean, I don't want to go way out there and that's a whole nother lesson. We're not doing a lesson on incest and marrying your family, because we didn't threw the Most High's laws away, right? But as time progressed, the Most High gave us laws to keep the bloodline from being contaminated. Okay, so at the beginning, there was the law wasn't passed at the point where we are today, where you can't marry your sister or your brother. Okay, back then it was different, right? So I just want to clear, because I know somebody probably had that thought came in their mind. So I answered it on the way to going to where we're going. So let's go back in. All right. So he took his sister to be his wife, and in the 4th year, the 6th week, she bore him Enos. He began to call on the name of Yah on the earth. So Enos, the son of Seth, it says he is the one that began to call on the name. He began to say YAHWAH. So it wasn't Shemaiah, the first one to call on the name of YAHWAH. It was Enos. We just read, right? But they knew the name, but he vowed to pledge allegiance to the Most High, right? Because Adam failed, right? And when Adam fell bigly, as Donald Trump would say, his son Cain fell, and he substituted the worship of the Most High for the deceiver by killing his own son. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Okay, now, so that's when mankind began to call on the name of the Most High in the days of Enos. Right? So the name wasn't something new. So why is it that our Christian theologians want to say he has many names? I challenge any theologian, any pastor, bishop, scholar to show me in the biblical text where the Most High said he has many names. You ain't gonna find it there. Right? Matter of fact, we will find this here where the Most High says this, right? Let's go here while I'm there. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay. I like see Gemini know the scriptures pretty good. I was going to search for it. I said, you know what, let me put it in the Gemini. Okay, so let's go to Hosea, right? Hosea chapter 2, right? So we go to Hosea chapter 2, right? And always got them Shabbat flies come out when I go on the camera. Here they come. In the cold, they come in the house where it's nice and warm to antagonize me, right? Well, I'm not going to be distracted. All right, so Hosea 2, what I say, 2 and 17, right? So let's go 2 and 17, right? The Most High, let's start at verse 16. And it shall be in that day, says YHWH, that thou shalt call me Ishi, and thou shalt call me no more Beli. Wait a minute. Most High said in that day, see, you gonna call on these other names. Most High letting us know that we call on other names. He said in that day, look at it again. In that day, he said, thou shalt call me no more Beli, right? So last week we showed you that the Lord, the keeper of the bread that came from the Germanic people, was equivalent to the Canaanite deity Baal or Baal, right? So when you say the Lord, the Anglo-Saxon Lord, you're actually saying Baal. Master, right? So the Most High said what? He said, in that day thou shalt call me no more Beli. For verse 17, I will take away the names, underline that, the names, plural. I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. Boom. So the Most High said he already knew that we will be in captive lands calling the Most High the Lord. Right? So when is he removing the names? He's removing them right now. When you tune into a teaching and Moray Josiah is telling you that you call on a pagan deity, call the Most High by his name, that is the fulfillment of prophecy of him removing the names of Baalim out your lips. You saw a bald-headed, light-skinned man, right, on the camera telling you that Baal is the Lord and the Most High name is YAHWAH, right? That is the Most High fulfilled this prophecy, removing the names of Baalim from your lips. Don't kick against it. It's profound. It's prophetic, right? Now, I'm going to go to another place, right, where he says, We forgot his name. All right. Let's see. Hold on a second. I think he missed that one. I forgot my name. Okay, wait a minute. Which caused them to forget my name. Hold on, think. Which causes them to forget my name. Okay, come on, Gemini. I know you know that one. There we go. Okay, Yirmiyahu 23. So let's go there, right? Yirmiyahu 23, right? In Yirmiyahu 23, right? Okay, he says 23 and 27. Okay, let's go 23 and let's see if he's right. Oh, wow. Let's start right here. 23, it started 25. Okay, let's go 25, 23, 25. He said, I have heard what the prophet said that prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yeah, they are prophets of the seed of their own heart. How about that? Right? Which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams. Wait a minute. Back it up again.
Wait a minute.
Which think to cause my people to forget my name. One more time. Which think to cause my people to forget my name. IUIC. Bishop Nathaniel, shame on you, brother. Shame on you. Shame on you. You done backslid holistically. I got your video where you taught YAHHWAH and YAHHWAH. Y'all don't believe me. I'm going to play it one day. Now he got his whole camp, the IUIC, calling on the Lord and Jesus. And calling us bums because we say YAHHWAH, 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 YAHHWAH. He going in on us because he done returned to his own vomit. Y'all tell him I said it. And I ain't taking it back. He done backslid. He done went back to the vomit to build his organization. It's sad. People have fallen for it. Right?
You've been had. You've been took. You've been.
And then you get mad at me. You say, "Well, you just jealous of him." No, I have a type of respect for him, but then at the same time, I have a disrespect for the fact that he would go back at the expense of building his organization. He could do that. Matter of fact, I could lead the Hebrew Israelite movement all together, go back to the church and build a mega church. I have people follow me. I ain't gonna do it because God's gonna judge, right? All right. So now I know somebody that got mad now with that's your favorite teacher. So you want to unsubscribe to the channel now. You want to unsubscribe because I attacked your champion. There goes the names of Baal. There goes so Bishop Nathaniel become your deity. Y'all said this is my name forever. You can't change his name and substitute his name. We already told you where the name Lord came from, but you're going back to how is it that you're going to attack the so-called white man who you call Esau for teaching you or for lying to you, but you're going to embrace the name that you got from him?
Am I right?
And so you want to tell your people, oh, they just jealous of me. No, It's love is what it is. You know, you can't change what the Most High said. Right? So if the Most High said, this is my name, and you're going to go ahead and grab a holy Germanic deities and substitute the Most High and call them by the gods and the lords, then you have misinformed your whole congregation and you are walking in disobedience, right? And you're found right here. Now go back to Jeremiah. So he says, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal, right? The fathers have forgotten the Most High's name, and they substituted the Most High's name. Then they gave the Most High's Son a name, which is connected to the Greek deity, which is where we're going to go to in a few minutes. Okay, now, so we know for a fact that we just showed you that the men began to call upon the name of Yah, right? Now, let's go to, I'm going to show you something. Y'all probably never read this before. This going to send goosebumps down your spine. You're going to feel a shundo when you read this one here. All right, we're going to go to Jubilees chapter 3. I'm going to show you something, right? Y'all heard of Dr. Doolittle used to talk to the animals, right? This is where they got it from, right? Okay. Said, well, Dr. Doolittle used to talk to animals. Where is that at in the scripture? We're going to show it to you. All right. So click this link here. This is the same reference, but this is a different page, so you can go to this page directly, right? Okay, so we're gonna go to this page directly. The page is page 27, right? Okay, now where do I want to begin here? Let's see, what's a good starting point here? Let's see, I got verse 28. Let me see. Let's start at 27, right? Okay. And on that day on which Adam went forth from the garden, he offered a sweet savor and offering frankincense, galbanum, and stacte, and spices in the morning with the rising of the sun from the day when he covered his shame. And on that day was closed the mouth of the beast. Now, what you got to see here is this, right? Who taught Adam how to sacrifice unto the Most High? It wasn't the devil. So the ordinance that, see, because Christians will tell you, oh, those are handheld ordinances that's against you, right? Matter of fact, when you go into Genesis story, we see that the Most High made coats of skins for them. So who taught them how to sacrifice, how to offer unto the Most High? An offering, a burnt offering. It was the Most High. I keep hitting the wrong button. It was the Most High. Most High taught him, right? So Adam was taught. He was schooled. He went to the school of Yah. He didn't go to Dallas Theological Seminary, right? He didn't go to all these other colleges of the Bible. He went into the school, the University of Yah. Right. So a lot of these pastors and bishops has got these doctors of divinity need to go back to school, to the school of Yah, and get the truth so you can teach your people so the people can be free. Right now, here's the thing. So let's go back in here. All right. So he made them coats of skins, right? Right here, 26. Who made them coats of skins? The Most High made them coats of skins. He made them coats of skins and clothed them, right? And set them forth from the Garden of Eden. And on, this thing is getting in my way. And on that day on which Adam went forth from the garden, he offered sweet savor and offering frankincense, galbanum, and stacte, and spices in the morning with the rising of the sun from the day when he covered his shame. And on that day was closed the mouth of the beast and cattle and of birds and of whatever walks and whatever moves, so that they could no longer speak, for they had all spoken one with another with one lip and with one tongue. How about that? Man, huh? So the animals even call on the name of Yah in the creation. They could talk. They had a tongue to speak. So Dr. Doolittle didn't originate talking to the animals. Adam, the first man, talked to the animals, and they talked back to him. So the creation knew the name, right? Adam knew the name. YAHWH, all his sons knew the name. They stopped calling the name because they was deceived by the deceiver. All right. Now, so we're showing you that the name of the Most High isn't new. He gave the creation. He gave Adam YAHWH, cat, the dog, the mouse, the swine, even the swine, the Porky the pig was called the name of Yah. The catfish was called, even the catfish was both Yah. I mean, the Most High, he's smarter than we are, right? He put his signature in his creation. All creation knows his name. They might not want to say it. Like IOG, you probably can't get them to say hallelujah. They probably taught not to say it. I don't know. I've never been a member there, but I don't know that I've heard any one of them say hallelujah. I would be curious to hear them say it. Boy, Josiah would know better than me. All right. So now, so that every creature knew the name of the Most High, right? Now, so Satan is the one that deceived the whole world, right? So going forward, I want to show you that from that time forward, men stopped calling the name, right? Except for the sons of Seth, and going down from Seth down through Methuselah, down through what was Noah's grandfather, Methuselah, and Terah was not Terah. Who was Noah's? Lamech. Lamech was Noah's father, right? Lamech, was it Lamech? Okay, hold on a second. Going back to the sons. Okay. Let's see. Hold on a second. Who was Noah's father? Who was Noah's father? I know it, but I don't want to misinform people. Got people watching, nitpicking. Okay, so Adam, Seth, Enosh, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech. I said I was right, Lamech. So Lamech was Noah's father, but he wasn't the one that continued in the worship of Yah. Noah did. His father did. So kind of like in the same scenario with Abraham. Abraham did. His father Terah was pagan. He worshipped Satan. Okay. Now, so let's go to the same book. This time we're going to go to Jubilees chapter 12, right? And we're going to show you something. We've covered this before in the previous lesson, but we're going to do it again. It's new to some, but to most of you read it before. Now, so we're going to show you that Abraham, right, restored the worship of Yah among the nations, right? So we go to we're gonna go in this link. Did I give you the link? Let me give you the link for this, for the page, the particular page we got. Okay. This is page 95. Okay, so you click on it's the same reference book, but this give you the exact page where we are, so you don't have to find it. Okay. So if you go to this page here, this is page 95. And we're going to start at, let's start at 24 maybe. Let's see, start at 24. Okay. And I shall be, let's back up a little bit. Let's go up a little bit. I don't want to go up too far. All right, let's do this right here. And Terah went forth from Ur the Chaldees. Let's see. That's kind of in the middle. Okay, let's see. Hold on a second. Just for a second here. I don't want to do that much reading because this is not about that. Hey, whatever. Let's just stick with what I was going to do. Let's start at verse 24. This is the Most High talking to Abraham. Okay. And let's start at verse 21. And he says, shall I return to Ur the Chaldees who seek my face that I may return to them, or am I to remain here in this place? The right path before thee, prosper it in thy hands, that thy servant that he may fulfill, and that I may not walk in the deceitfulness of my heart, O my Elohim. And he made an end of the speaking and praying, and behold, the word of Yah was sent to him through me, saying, get thee up from thy country and from thy kindred, and from the house of thy father into a land which I will show thee, and I shall make thee a great and numerous nation. And I shall bless thee, and I shall make thy name great, and thou shalt be blessed in the earth, and indeed will all the families of the earth be blessed. And I shall bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And I shall be an Elohim to thee, and thy son, and to thy son's son, and to all thy seed. Fear not from henceforth and unto the generations of the earth. I am Yah. And Yah said to open his mouth and his ears, that he may hear and speak with his mouth. Watch this now. This is the part you got to get right here, right? Watch this. Watch this right here. He says, and I open his mouth and his ears and his lips. And I began to speak with him in what? Hebrew. The tongue of creation. There it is. So when people say, El is a pagan Canaanite deity, the Canaanite language is the same as Hebrew. It's a sister language. There was an Elohim before there was a Canaanite deity called El. Okay. So now, in this book here, I might read some of these deities out of here so you can see all these names, right? It's kind of premature, but they all in here. This book goes from the Near East deities, including the Canaanites and all of the Egyptians, the Mizrahites, Babylonians, right? To the Europeans, to the Americans, Asians, Africans, and Caribbeans, right? And Oceanic. This book right here. Those all them names. You pick one. You buy a pair of sneakers called Nike, that's a deity. Mazda, that's a deity. Right? Well, I'll read it before we close out. I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna give you something to take home with you. All right, now. So it was Hebrew, the tongue of creation, that the Most High gave his name in. So that's how we know that the Most High's name don't change. It doesn't change in the languages. There's people that think they smart tell, oh, that's his name in English. Really? That's what you're doing? To pacify, to justify you using a pagan substitution? That's why you got a big camp, because you lying to the people. Tell the people a lie. Tell the people that it's okay to call the Most High Lord and call the Messiah Jesus. I'll be a witness against you in that day, in the day of judgment. Bring it up. Now, I'm not going to change the Most High. I'm not going to get in trouble. The Most High don't play with his name. He gonna deal with the people. Right? Last shall be first, and first shall be last. All right. So back here, he said, so it was the language. He began to speak with him in the Hebrew, the tongue of creation. And so when the Most High spoke to Abraham in the language of creation, watch what Abraham did. He got real deep. Watch this. And he took the books of his fathers, and these were written in Hebrew, and he transcribed them, and he began from henceforth to study them. And I made known to him that which he could not comprehend, and he studied them during the 6 rainy months. And it came to pass in the 7th year of the 6th week that he spoke to his father and informed him that he would leave Haran to go into the land of Canaan to see it and return to him. Right. So that's all I'm going to cover with that there. So praise the Most High Abraham. The fathers he's talking about was Seth, right? Was Methuselah, right? They preserve the language. They preserve the name, right? So that's why when you go and they find these scrolls in the caves or stuff like that, they call it the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? The fathers preserve the writings for us to see. All right, now, so Abraham was given the name, right? So now, we in the previous lesson we talked about how Satan was the deceiver. So I'm gonna give you some epistles. We'll give you the epistle of Paul. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 11, right? 2 Corinthians 11, and we'll show you, because people say, "Oh, God has made name." The one who is giving you those names is Satan, brother. Right? So let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11, right? And we're going to start at verse 13, right? So it says, let's start verse 10. Start verse 10. Okay. As the truth of the Messiah is in me, no man shall stop me of this boasting in the regions of Achaia. Wherefore, because I love you not, YAHWAH knoweth. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherewith they glory, they may be found even as we. For such are false apostles, right? Deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of the Messiah. Read that again, right? For such are false apostles and deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of the Messiah. So you got to be very careful with people, right? We, as Maureen or teachers, we are supposed to point people to what Yah says, not what I say, because my words have no power, have no weight. But Yah's word is true, right? Beloved brother that's no longer with us used to always say that. He said, Yah is right all the time. Yah is right all the time. We could be wrong, right? With our prideful, braggadocious, arrogant mentality, we want to be right all the time. We could be wrong, but Yah is right all the time. So if anybody's wrong, it's me. If there is a right and wrong person, Yah's right, I'm wrong. So if we stick with Yah, we're going to be all right. But when we leave from Yah and when we start our own interpretation and teach in our schools, and we got everybody else doing the same thing, following the same misinformation, right? And we're in trouble, right? So now let's go back. So he said, So they're false apostles. They transform themselves into apostles of the Messiah, you know. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So Satan has transformed. He's a transformer. He deceived the world into worshiping him under the various different names. In our ignorance and in our sincerity, in many cases, the enemy has tricked and deceived us into worshiping him under these many names. He don't care how he gets worship. He can trick you. He don't care. As long as you worship him under these false names, he's getting praise, right? Now, go to Acts 17:23, and we're going to go further. Acts 17, right? And go to verse 22. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill and said, "You men of Athens," who were the Athens, right? They're the Greek people, right? Okay. He said, "You men of Athens, I perceive that in all things you are too superstitious." You are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found on an altar with this inscription: "To the unknown mighty one, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you." Right? So, they didn't know his name. So what did they do? They took the names of their deities and they just said, "Oh, it's okay. This is his Greek name." You follow me? See, Yahshua, that's his Hebrew name, but Jesus, that's his Greek name. See how we can get deceived and tricked and what?
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked.
Right. So that's how we can become had, because our teachers, right, have caused the people to forget the Most High's name for the Lord. They that call on the name of Yah shall be saved. Not they that call on the name of the Lord. They substituted that. Go to the text. He said, "In that day, whosoever shall call on the name," not just the authority and the character as they try to dress it up, the name. Right? They forgot the name. You can't get around that, brother. They didn't forget the character. They forgot the name. For Baal. That's what the Most High said. Don't come at me with this nonsense about the name just means character and authority. Get out of here with that crap. Who you playing with? Right? Now, so they forgot the name. Now, let's progress forward now, right? See, the enemy has trapped us that the so-called Negroes don't even know you Israelites. You think you're a Gentile, that the Europeans brought you over here and cleaned you up and gave you salvation because we was barbaric, uncivilized heathens into voodoo. Well, that's what it became. But we wasn't. We forgot the name. So even in Africa, when we was in amongst the Negro land territories, many of us got the name for Baal. Till this very day. You go into Africa today, they still calling on Baal. Right? So now, so let's progress forward here. We're going to show you where this happened. So as we progress forward, we're going to discuss how the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, became indoctrinated with the Gentiles' variation of deities, right? So let's go to the book of Maccabees, right? And we're going to go to the book of Maccabees. I'm going to give you the link here. And we're going to go to First Maccabees, starting with there. And so go to that page there. Okay, I think that's where I want to be. Okay. We're going to go back to just to kind of lay a foundation. So that page I gave you was page 58. So before we get to 58, I want to lay a foundation. So let's go back to this is page 53. Okay. So go to page 53, right? All right. This first Maccabees, it says, and it came to pass after Alexander the Maccabean, a Macedonian, the son of Philip, who came out of the land of Chittim, right? And smote Darius, the king of the Persians, right? So now, here's a little something, learn something, right? Okay, so how could Esau be the white man when the Persians were sons of Japheth? So Chittim, the camps want to make Chittim be Esau. That's a double brainiac doctrine, brother. It's a stronghold amongst our people. But anyway, like to the Gentiles, that's his territory. He's strong on that. So here we see Alexander was a Macedonian, right? He fought against Darius, the Persians, right? So the Persians came from Japheth, right? Who was the father of the European nations, right? So even the Persians that they settled, we can go to the book of Maccabees and we show it to you. They wanted land amongst the Shemites. So that's how the Persians got there. But they were descendants of Japheth, right? So Alexander the Greek came against Paras, his cousin, under the line of Japheth, right? So he goes and it says he smote Darius, the king of Persians, right? Let's go back in now. And the Medes, it came to pass after he had smitten him that he reigned in his stead in former time over Greece. So wait a minute, hold a second. Wait a minute, I just saw something.
Wait a
minute. So Darius was reigning over Greece before Alexander. We got some explaining to do now.
You in danger, girl.
Because if Esau is Chittim, and they were ruled by Darius, right? We got some explaining to do, right? So let's read it again. So he said, what? The Medes, it came to pass after he had smitten him that he reigned in his stead. So what does it mean to reign in his stead? In former time over Greece. So when you reign in someone's stead, that means you taking somebody's place. So that meant that this Persian king, Darius, was ruling over the Greeks before Alexander the Greek ruled over the Greeks. How about that? Let's go back. Okay. And he fought many battles and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of the multitude of nations, right? Go to the next page. Took spoils of the nations, and the earth was quiet before him, right? And he was exalted. Oh, wait a minute there, brother.
Wait a minute.
That's why they call him Alexander the Great. Because even to this very day, when you call him Alexander the Great, you're worshiping him. That's why I call him Alexander the Greek. I should have no other Elohim before me. So you make him the Great. Like Herod the Great, right? You're making those icons of worship. All right? Just a little side note. Let's go back. So he says, the earth was quiet before him, and he was exalted, which meant that now he's another vehicle. Alexander was another vehicle that Satan got worship through. Right? So it says that he was exalted and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered together an exceeding strong host and ruled over countries and nations and principalities, and they became tributary unto him. Right? Man.
Wait a minute.
So what does it mean to become tributary? Let's ask Gemini. Okay, so what does it mean to become tributary? All right. To become tributary means that a person, state, or nation enters into a subordinate relationship with a more powerful authority, typically characterized by the regular payment of tribute as a sign of submission or alliance. Pledge allegiance. In context, the term was two primarily meanings: a historical, political meaning, and a geographical one. Okay. Subordination. That's it. That's the thing. So in other words, Alexander, as I just said, became a deity to the people. And y'all said, we're not going to have no others before me. So that's what happened. That's why he ended up prematurely dying, because he was deified, right? So let's go further. All right. So now it says the earth was quiet before him, and he, people made tributaries to him. Let's see, where was that here? And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. And he called his servants, which were honorable, which had been brought up with him from his youth. Right. So what I want to add in here is that it's not in this particular text, but in the history of it is that the Greeks had a oracle called the Delphi oracle. That was the person that they would go to. They would get a word. You know, that practice where you want to go to the prophet and get a word, that started in Greek mythology. They go to the Delphi oracle, and she would inhale the lava leaf, and she would inhale the lava from the leaf, and she would go into a trance. Her eyes would go in the back of her head, and then she would start speaking in a strange language. And then they had what they call the interpreter. The guy would come, he would listen to her speak, and then he would translate what she was saying and tell the king, this is what you're supposed to do. You're not going to win this battle, so don't go out and fight, because the oracle, she went into a trance, into a whole nother dimension, and got a language, and she was ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ing, and he interpreted, right? That if y'all ever seen the 300, there's a segment in there where they actually show you that, where she goes into this, the oracle goes into this trance. It's really deep, right? But that's what happened, right? Okay, so just a little something, way to learn something. All right, let's go back in. So after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die, and he called his servants, which were honorable, which had been brought up with him from his youth. Okay, and divided unto them his kingdom while he was yet alive. Alexander reigned 12 years, and he died, and his servants bare rule, each one in his place, and they did all put diadems upon themselves. After that, he was dead. Wait a minute. So they put diadems on themselves, right? Now let's ask Gemini. What's a diadem, Mr. Gemini? What is a diadem? Okay. A diadem is an ornamental headband worn as a badge of royalty, sovereignty, and high status. How about that? The original form, ancient history of diadem, comes from the Greek word diadem, meaning band or fillet. Okay. So we get the point, right? So they became sovereigns over the people. In other words, in modern terminology, they became deities. They became man gods. Like we do the pastors, our bishop, my bishop, he's my man of God. He's a man God. He's the one that gives you all the answers. Creflo has become a man God to his congregation. You say something against what he's saying in regards to how he twists the book, he is my man of God, my man God. Okay. That's where that comes from, right? All right. So let's go back in here. So he put diadems, and after that he was dead, and so did their sons after them many years, and they multiplied evils in the earth, and there came forth out of them sinful root Antiochus Epiphanes, son of Antiochus, the king who had been a hostage at Rome, right? So now we go from being the man God to being an epiphany, the replacement. See that? See how this is working? Now, let's go back in here. So it says that he became hostage at Rome and reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. Let me back up for a second. Who was that? That was Antiochus Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome. So we got some other stuff here, as we say, learning on the way to learning something. We got Romans being hostages to the Greeks. So these are not Edomite people. These are not Edomite people enslaving their own people. Okay, just a little side note. All right. Now go back in. So he said, 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days, there came forth out of Israel transgressors. Now, so we're gonna see what these transgressors did. I'm gonna read a footnote here. Okay. So what did the transgressors do? Let's go to the next page, and I'm going to come back to 58 because I got something I want to read there. But let's go to the next. So he said that they came for out of Israel transgressors of the law. Ooh, what was it? Transgressors of the law, and persuaded many, saying, let us... Don't follow the law of the Most High. That law's cruel. Let's follow the laws of the nations. You know what we hear today? We're not under the Most High law. We under His law, right? Okay, let's go further. So he said, let us go after and make a covenant with the Gentiles that are round about us. For since we were parted from them, many evils are befallen. And the saying was good in their eyes. A certain of the people were forward, hearing that went to the king, and he gave them a license to do after the ordinance of the Gentiles. You ever heard this expression, grace is not a license to sin? That's where it came from. So he said he gave them a license to do after the ordinances of the Gentiles. And they built a place of exercise in Jerusalem, right? According to the laws of the Gentiles, and they made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the covenant and joined themselves into the Gentiles and sold themselves to do evil. And the kingdom was well ordered in the sight of Antiochus, and he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might reign over the two kingdoms. He entered into Egypt with the great multitude, with chariots and with elephants and with horsemen and with great navy, and he made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. And Ptolemy was put to shame before him and fled, and many fell wounded to death. And they got possession of the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and took of the spoils of Egypt. And Antiochus, after that he had smitten Egypt, returned in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude, and entered presumptuously into the sanctuary, and took the golden altar and the candlestick of the light, and all that pertained thereunto, and the table of showbread, and the cups to pour within the bowls, and the golden censers, right? And the veil and the crowns and the adorning of gold which was on the face of the temple, and he scaled it all off. He took the silver and gold, there goes your silver and gold, and he pressed his vessels, and he took the hidden treasures which he found, And when he had taken all, he went away to his own land and made a great slaughter and spoke very presumptuously. And there came out mourning upon Israel in every place where they were, and the rulers and elders groaned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of the women was changed. Every bridegroom took up a lamentation. He that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness, and the land was moved for the inhabitants thereof, and the house of Yaakov was clothed with shame. Right? So now, what I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to set you up to show you how that this Epiphanes, right, became the vicar or the replacement or the substitution, or he became the image of Satan to get the Israelites who had the name, because all the other nations lost the name, so they want to get rid of these people that had the name. So watch what happened here. All right. Now, with that said, what I want to do is I want to read that passage on page 58, which I skipped past. So let's go back to 58. And I want to read this part right here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay. So let's start right here. It says, there accordingly Antiochus remained during the 12 years of his brother's reign, just before his assassination by Heliodorus. There goes another Greek deity, Helios, his treasurer, BC 176. Seleucus, probably at the call of Rome, had sent his son Demetrius to take the place of Antiochus, thus released in absence of their true heir. Antiochus succeeded with the help of King there goes your Pergamus, king of Pergamus, in outstanding Heliodorus and usurping. Now here it says the head of Antiochus with the diadem. So there's Antiochus. They have something written here in Greek. The king Antiochus Theos. Look what it says here. King Antiochus Theos, God Epiphanes. And also known as Nike or Nike Forest. So you have Antiochus, the replacement, being known as the god, right? The god man, and Nike Forest. So he is a Nike deity, and he is also known as the god man. So he is what the Epiphany, which is what the replacer, right, of the Most High. Now let's go back in here. So it says that the kingdom, the words hostage at Rome are perhaps intended to contrast their mildness of Antiochus with the arrogant cruelty afterwards practiced by him. So here we see here, what I want to point out, this right here, is that his name, he was, it says, Zeus seated on throne holding a figure of Nike. So this Antiochus Epiphanes is this Zeus image, right? With the Nike virus. Okay. And that's a lot right there. Okay. So what I want to do, want to go look further here. So that is, now I asked the question, let's see if I can go here. Is there a relationship between Epiphanes and is there a relationship between Epiphanes and Zeus? I'm trying to find my note there on that. Let's see. Let me go here right quick. Okay. That's not it. Okay, let's see. Where is it? Okay. Let's do it again. It might be up here because I was. Hey, hold on. What is the relationship between Epiphanes and Zeus. Okay, let's do that there. Okay, so he says the relationship between the term Epiphanies and the god Zeus is one of divine manifestation and political propaganda, centered on the Seleucid king Antiochus IV. Here's a detailed breakdown of significant historical religious connection. Antiochus IV and their title Epiphanies. The connection is established because Seleucid king Antiochus IV, who reigned 175 to 164, officially adopted the title Antiochus the Theos Epiphanes. There you go. Antiochus the king, Theos the Greek god, Epiphanes Greek manifest or God made manifest. There it is. The claim and manifestation by adopting this title, Antiochus IV was claiming that he was a living, visible manifestation of a major god on earth. In the context of Greek pantheon and Hellenistic world, the god most frequently associated with supreme power and rulership was Zeus, right? So what? So Epiphanes becomes Zeus. Now he goes on and he says, his coins often featured the image of Zeus Olympus on the reverse side, explicitly pairing the image of the supreme deity with the king's title, Theos Epiphanes. The public works. He funded lavish projects, including the massive temple of Olympian Zeus in Athens. Remember, we just read in Athens, right? In Acts, right? Further aligning himself with the god. The desecration of the temple. The most famous or infamous connection is documented in the Book of Maccabees, 167 BCE. As part of the campaign to enforce Hellenization, Antiochus ordered the Hebrew temple in Jerusalem to be dedicated to the Greek deity. The altar of burnt offerings was replaced by the altar of Zeus Olympus, which the Israelite campers referred to as the abomination of desolation, right? So now, okay, so we're going to show you that, okay? So what I want to do is give you another link here. So here we that was interesting, right? So we're going to go this time to 2 Maccabees, right? And we're going to go to 2 Maccabees chapter 6. Take this link right here, click this link and go into this book here that we have. Okay? So now, let's go. This Maccabees, that's chapter 2 Maccabees. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Okay, we're gonna cut that, paste that there. We're gonna go to 2 Maccabees, and we're going to start at chapter 6 and start right. Let's see if we go over here to the second side of the screen. Okay, let's start right here where it says in asterisk, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Israelites to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Yah, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple, underlines right here, the temple of Jupiter Olympus, and that garrison of Jupiter and defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. So what did he do? Antiochus, the God man, the human representation of Zeus, who is the mythological representation of Hasatan. So you go from Hasatan to Zeus. which is a Greek replica of Satan, right? Marduk, right? In this book, they're all the same, connects them. So when you see that that's where we embraced the worship of the sun, because Zeus represents the sky deity, the sun, right? Now, so when we go further in that, I want to show you that he convinced them to call the temple Jupiter Olympus, right? Now, that's a lot. It's a lot. So what I want to do is let's go to page 112 in the same book. And I'm going to give you the link here so you can go right straight to that page. Okay. And we're going to go to that page directly. And we're going to read this part right here. Okay. Let's see where's the part I wanted here. Is this the part I wanted? Okay, let's see. Let's start right here. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. So when Antiochus had carried out the temple, 1,800 talents were departed in all haste unto Antiochus, weaning in his pride to make the land navigable and the sea passable by foot. Such was the haughtiness of his mind. He left governors to vex the nation at Jerusalem. Philip, for his country, a Phrygian, and for manners more barbarous than he that set him there. And at Gerizim, Andronicus, and besides Menelaus, who worse than all the rest bear an heavy hand over the citizens, having a malicious and mind against the countrymen of the Israelites. He sent also that detestable ringleader Apollonius with the army of 22,000, commanding him to slay all those that were in their best age, and to sell the women and the younger sort, who coming to Jerusalem and pretending peace, did forbear till the Kodesh day of the Sabbath, when taking the Israelites, keeping the Kodesh day, he commanded his men to arm themselves. And so he slew all them that were gone to the celebrating of the Shabbat, and running through the city with weapons, slew great multitudes. But Yehudis Maccabees, with 9 others, or thereabout, withdrew himself into the wilderness, and lived in the mountains after the manner of the beast, with his company, who fed on herbs continually, lest they should be partakers of the pollution. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Yehudim to depart from the laws of the fathers. Okay, so we read that part there. Okay, I was trying to get to let's see. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue where that part there. Okay, so we read this part right here. Okay, let's start here. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dealt with harlots, and had to do with women with the circuit of the Kodesh place, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar was also filled with profane things which the law forbids. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Shabbat days, or ancient feasts, or profess himself at all to be an Israelite. And in the day of the king's birth, every mouth they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of sacrifices. Woo! And when the feast of Bacchus, was kept by the Israelites, were compelled to go in possession of Bacchus, carrying ivy. There goes your mistletoes and stuff. Moreover, there went out a decree of the neighbor cities of the heathens by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Yahudim, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. Deck the halls of barrels of holly, huh? And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery, for there are 2 women brought who had circumcised their children, whom they had openly led round about the city, and babies hanging by their breasts. They cast them down head long from the wall, and others that had run together into caves near by and kept the Shabbat day secretly, being discovered by Philip, were all burned together because they made conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most Kodesh day. So that is what happened. So the Greeks enforced the Hebrews to embrace the worship of Zeus, who was the Greek deity, i.e. Epiphanes, i.e. Marduk, i.e. Satan. So that's the progression, right? So now that is who the Greek deity was. The Greek deity was, and is Zeus, which is Satan or Satan, right? Now, so what time is it? It's 11 o'clock. This is a good place to stop right here. So what I had promised you that I was going to read some of these deities out of the book here, and then we'll continue part 3, because we're going to show the progressions. We went from the Babylonians to the Mizraimites or Egyptians to the Canaanites to the Greeks, right? We kind of skipped through the Persians, but we'll cover a little bit of that in here, right? So now what I want to do is, if you're interested in buying this book, here's the book here. This was published in 2004. There are other books, but this book here is compact and it's right there. It's right straight to the point, right? So in this book, right? So we started out with the Eastern deities, right? We mentioned. So in this book, it talks about. Let me put my CNI glasses on. You can see this page here. Okay. You probably can't see it because of the color. But so start with Enki. Enki, right? Enki was called the god of fresh water. Enki. Okay. Enki sided with mortals to help them escape the flood brought about the Enlil. He was the deity of fresh water, including lakes, rivers, marshes, springs, and wells. Okay. He lived in the underground waters that the Babylonians believed supported the earth. So he he emerged to instruct men in agriculture and irrigation and devised the order of inheritance in civilization. Enki had esoteric knowledge about the nature of life and could raise mortals from the dead. The Babylonians drew him as a seated figure with long beard surrounded by water. They also picture him with a body that tapered into the form of a fish. So that is actually equivalent to Dagon. Okay, now you have Enlil. Enlil was called the god of the air. Enlil, E-N-L-I-L, right? I'm not going to read each definition. I'm just going to give you the names. You got Gilgamesh and who they are. Gilgamesh was the mortal. It says mortal here and underworld deity. So that's Gilgamesh. So kind of equivalent to the Greek. The Greek Hades is equivalent to the Canaanite Gilgamesh, right? Then you have Ishtar. Ishtar is the goddess of love. So you got Aphrodite and all the other. So all these deities have many names. They just basically just culturalistic variations of the same deity, right? You have Marduk, which was The bull calf of the sun. Okay, that's let me just read that one here. It says originally a relatively obscure deity of storms who also presided over agriculture during the 2nd and 3rd millennium BCE. Marduk became the deity of the city of Babylon around 14 BCE. Okay, all right. Then you got Shamash, or you say smash. That's how you pronounce it. Smash is spelled S-H-A-M-A-S. So, Brother Doogie Dollars, Smash is a deity. Okay, all right. Sin is another deity. Sin is the Lord of the calendar. Sin, right? S-I-N, Sin. Okay. Sin, Enlil's son. He was the Babylonian moon deity. Okay. So then you have Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda was the wise Lord, right? According to the prophet Zoroaster, the founder of Zoroasterism. So there goes your Mazda. Then you have Baal Hadad. We already read about that in the biblical text, right? Then you have El, the Most High. So I believe that before Baal or El became an actual carved deity, that the Canaanites actually really served the Most High, that they called him El. Okay, that's just me. All right. Can I prove it? I think if I did some thorough investigation, I could. With the scriptures, I think I could. Okay, all right. But we'll say that for a future lesson. You got Mot, who was the deity of death. Mot, right? And Yam, like candy yams. Yam was a deity. Yam, the sea god. Okay. Yam was the god of the seas and rivers, was the brother of Mot and Baal. Okay. Then you go into the Egyptians, right? You got Amun, right? It says the secret one, the exclusive deity. The secret one, for mortals could not know his real name. His statue enshrined with cloth to indicate his hidden nature. So, the exclusive one. Then you have Anubis. Anubis is where you get your word Nubia from. Okay, Anubis, which is a reader of the scales. Anubis was one of the earliest Egyptian deities, the deity of death, the guide and protector of the dead, right? So that's Anubius. Then you have Apophis, the evil deity. Then you have Autumn, Atum, the complete one, Autumn. So we call a season Autumn. That's named after deity. You got Bes, without the T, B-S, Bes, it is the deity of music. Then you got Geb, G-E-B, the deity of the earth, Geb. You got Hathor or Hathor, right? The celestial cow. You got Horus, which is the falcon-headed deity, Horus, right? Got your horoscope. You got Isis, the great mother, Isis. And I think it's a set, but they have Isis in the book here. Okay. You have Kepri, and then you have Num, N-U-M, K-H-N-U-M, which is the divine potter. You have Nosu, the wanderer, right? You have Nosu. You have Mat, or Mat, Ma'at. This is the deity of truth. Then you have Min, like short for minute, Min, the firm one, Min, right? Mantu, the warrior deity. Mut, they name a dog Mut. Well, Mut was a deity. Mut, the divine mother. Mut. Neith, the hunter. N-E-I-T-H. Keith with an N. Neith. Then you got Nekbet, the protector of kings. You got Nephthys, the friend of the dead. You got Nun, spelled N-U-N, which is a synonym of noon, like afternoon, which is noon was the personification of the primeval waters from which all creation sprang. Noon. And then you got nut, like peanuts, macadamia nuts, N-U-T, nut. Nut was the sky deity, right? All right. Osiris was the judge of the dead. Okay. And then you got Ta or Ptah, the deity of crafts. You got Re or Re, R-E, the sun deity. He's still Egyptian now. Then you got Seth, named after Seth in the Bible, but he was the desert deity, right? Shu, the holder of the sky, Shu. Sobek, he's the deity of crocodiles, Sobek. Sokar, the deity of goldsmiths, Sokar. Taweret, the deity of pregnancy, Taweret. That's a new one to me. Tefnut, the goddess of dew. Thoth, the deity of wisdom. Wagjet, the cobra deity, and Wep-Wawet, the war deity. So that's that. Then you go into Europe, right? Just to name a few here. I'm not going to go. Aphrodite, Venus, born of the foam. Apollo, the shining one. Ares and Mars, the deity of war. Artemis and Diana, the virgin huntress. Athena, Minerva, the deity of wisdom. So they call you Athens, Athena, Minerva. Atlas was the deity of knowledge. They say Atlas, World Atlas. Right. Chaos. Okay. There was a Greek deity. There was not Greek, European deity. Chaos means void. Chaos. Circe, the sorceress. Circe, C-I-R-C-E. Cronus, or chronology, the harvest of the Titans. Cronus. Demeter or Ceres, right? Spelled C-E-R-E-S, which is the Ceres, as they spell S-I-R, Ceres, same one, same deity, the deity of corn. Dionysus and Bacchus, okay, was the deity of wine and ecstasy and vegetation. Okay, it's Bacchus. We read about Bacchus. Fortuna is the deity of fortune. Then Aranius, the angry one. Eros or Cupid, that is the deity of desire. Gaia is Mother Earth. And Grace, the graces, or grace, say grace. Grace and peace, grace and glory, grace. Grace is G-R-A-C-E-S, the daughter of joy. So joy, grace are deities. Hades, Pluto. Pluto TV, Hades. Hecate. Plutus and Hato is the deity of the underworld. Hecate, the deity of magic. Helios and Phobos was the sun. Helios. Okay. And that's where you get your word hello from. Helios. Okay. Hechatus, Vulcan, which is the divine blacksmith. Vulcan, where you get your word volcano from, right? Hera, Juno, the deity of marriage. Hera, Juno. Hermes and Mercury. Hermes is the leader of souls. Hermeneutics. That's where hermeneutics come from. Hermeneutics. Mercury. Okay. Lincoln Mercury. Car. You got the deity Lincoln Mercury. Right. Hestia Vesta. Vesta Vista. the deity of hearth, right? And Janus is the deity of beginnings. That's where you get your January from. The first, the two-headed deity, the beginning and the endings. Okay. He's called the deity of beginnings. The Roman two-faced Janus had no Greek counterpart and was adopted by no other cultural mythology. That's interesting, right? Okay. Muses, Muses, M-U-S-E-S, the deity of inspiration. Mithras was the deity of light. Oceanus is where you get the word ocean from. Oceanus was the deity of the first of the Titans. Oceanus personified the ocean, the great river, and surrounded the earth, on the far side of which lay paradisical islands such as Hesperides and the Isles of the Blessed. How about that? Then you had Pan and Faunus. Pan, which is the shepherd deity, Pan. You know, Pan-African. So when you call yourself a Pan-African, you call yourself after a European deity named Pan. Persephone was the queen of the dead. Poseidon and Neptune, right? Deity of the sea. Prometheus is the deity, the creator of mankind, okay? Rhea was the mother of Zeus, right? Romulus was the founder of Rome. Romulus and his twin brother Remus are the mythical founders of Rome, the sons of Mars. They were raised by a she-wolf after their grandfather, King Amulus, ordered their deaths, fearing that they might grow up to dispose him, right? So that's Romulus and Remus. You got Senua, the unknown deity, Uranus, ancestor of the deities, and you got Zeus/Jupiter, right? The father of the gods and men. So he's the God man. Get out of here with that one there. He's the God man. All right, so that's him. He's the father of the gods and men. Okay, then they have Celtic deities. So you go to Europe, to Celtic, you got Balor. Is the evil eye. Balor, the evil eye deity. Belinus, the Shakespeare's Cymbeline. Celtics did not worship the sun, but they recognized it as an important power, deserving of respect. Bridget was the wise woman. Ceridwen, the mother of Taliesin. Cernunnos, the horn one. Dagda, the father of all. Danu, the waters of heaven. Dion, the Irish deity of medicine. Don, the dark one. Epona, the divine Norse. Gabi knew the brewer of the deities. And this is Lug, the long-armed one. Okay. Some of these deities I don't know. Here's one, Math. Math. Did you know Math was a deity? Math is the magician and king. The great magician and king Math was the brother of the mother deity Danu, or Don, and was the deity of increasing prosperity. There goes your math. The math ain't mathing. There's a deity. Morrigan, let's see. Listen. There's a lot here that's got names I never heard before. I'm not even gonna read them. You got the Norse. Let's see. If I can find one with a name we know, we all familiar with. Okay, we got Bregu. We got Freya, the Lady of Love. And then you got Freyr, the male version, the harvest deity. You got Frigg, which is the queen of the deities. Frigg originated as an earth mother and became the deity of conjugal love and marriage. Right? Frigg, I think Frigg is your Friday, right? The day of the week, Friday. Named after her. Okay. You got Heimdall, you got Hel. Hel is the queen of the underworld. Hel, H-E-L. We talked about that in the previous lesson. You got Hel, you got Hodder, the blind deity, Hodder. Idun. You got Loki, which is the maker of the mischief. Loki. Okay. Odin, O-D-I-N, is the father of the deity. Odin, many titles make important, clear, and giver of victory. The Lord of the slain. Okay. Odin traveled through the air on an 8-footed sled. So Odin is your Santa Claus. Okay, Sif, S-I-F, Sif is the deity of thunder. Thor is the deity of thunder. So what's the difference between Sif? Oh, she's the feminine of Thor. Thor, which is the deity of thunder, right? Thor is where you get your Thursday from, right? So Frigg is where you get your Friday from. Thor is where you get your Thursday from. Wednesday is where you get Wooten from, right? And Tuesday is where you get Twig from. Okay, wait a minute. Tyre is the deity of battles, right? And let's see. Valley, V-A-L-I, down in the valley is spelled V-A-L-I, is the Avenger. Okay. And then you have American deities. Let's see one here that recognizable. The Hero Twins. Mayan culture heroes. So heroes and deity, right? Some of these here I can't even, the names is like Aztec names. Okay. You got Asian here. All right, Asian, you got Agni. Brahma. Brahma's the creator. Buddha, the truth finder. Ganesh. Ganesh is the deity of good luck. Indra is the deity of storms. Kali, like California, Cali, with a K, Kali, is the deity of destruction. Krishna is a divine lover, right? Krishna is a derivative of Christ, okay? Lakshmi, the deity of wealth, okay? Rama is the charming deity. Rama, R-A-M-A, Rama. Okay, Shiv, the destroyer. Vishnu, the preserver. Yama, the deity of the dead. These are Chinese. Okay. How about this one here? Yeah, I probably never heard this one here. Monkey. Monkey is the Chinese deity of victory. Monkey. How about that? Let me read a little bit that. It said trickster figure born from a stone egg. Monkey, otherwise known as the Sun Wukong, was the central character in the Chinese legend, The Journey to the West, in which the deities and demons battle with each other. Interesting. Monkey. You got Japanese deities. Whew. Can't pronounce that one. But there's more than this in this book, but they have a lot in here. NRE, the deity of rice. Then you got African Caribbean. You got these things again. Zulu's a deity. Quoth. Nyami, Ogun, Oya, Shango. Okay. Agui, Dambala. Okay. So I'm running to the end of it. Okay. They got oceanic deities. Who are these oceanic? Who they have here? Let's see. Papa. Papa and Rangi. Parents of the deities. Papa. How about that? Rainbow snake. The spirit of the waters, rainbow snake. That's the name of the deity, the rainbow snake. Haney. YAHWH sisters. Okay. All right. That's it. So we'll pick it up next week, and we'll go a little further in depth. We'll go. We kind of touch a little bit of the Romans, the deities, and so we're going to amplify, and we're going to graduate each week to each one of the cultures. So we're basically showing you that the God that has many names is the same deity, which is Satan, that went to all the different nations when the people's language was confounded, and they went to their various territories. They all went to their civilizations in worship of the same deity and his sibling, i.e., or children, with different names, right? So that's all I have for today. Pray you got some out of this. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe and like the video so that it can get into the algorithm. That's the only purpose of liking the video. It's not that you saying I agree with everything you said in the video. It's just basically putting it out there. When you like a video, it helps the channel to get more hits. I'm convinced that this channel, the way it's established, is not a money-making channel. So if you notice, I stopped putting the commercial in the videos because it's not really a money-making channel. At some future time, I'm going to create a channel that'll be a money-making channel. It won't be a channel that I'm going to actually teach the Bible. I cover different things. Once I become free, which I'm looking more so towards the spring of the year, I'll be completely out of debt. All my debts will be paid, and I have the time on my hands. So at that point in time, that's when I'll make some change. But at the same token, if you should desire to make a contribution to this ministry, we certainly appreciate your contributions. You can go and click on the channel, and you can go about the channel, and you'll see our links where you can make a contribution if you desire to share of your substance. And we appreciate all that you give. So with that said, Father, I thank and praise you for all those who join us from this live stream, those who will come later on, those who will not come, and those that are keepers of the covenant of Yah. We pray that the peace of Yah that passes all comprehension keep our hearts and minds through Yahshua the Messiah. To meet again at the point in time, we say hallelujah, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom.